Hello, it is Lord Haywire. I am streaming some 2D 4X today. I feel like I started talking too soon. Probably did. Uh, we last weekend we did a bunch of stuff and I didn't finish it, and I forgot. I mean, I knew I didn't finish it, but I forgot it would give me much errors. So I always hit play before I start a stream to see what happens. And I was like, oh yeah, we got all these issues. So what we're doing, we got to update the README, is we're fixing all those, but we're rearranging stuff. We're moving stuff to better scripts, so we're kind of breaking everything down into smaller, tinier parts. And that is the key there is if we get everything into smaller parts, it will be easier in the future. And I was thinking about this after last stream. I kind of really like breaking up, refactoring as they call it. I updated to beta 3 too, beta 3 as well this morning, so we needed to update that. So it's been updated. We can close this thing. I'm putting in all these notes. So basically what we'll do today is we'll go through what we were doing and continue from there. I don't think we're to the point where we're actually like jumping bug to bug and fixing it yet. I don't remember. I knew this was going to be a problem because like a week passed and my memory is gone. So yeah, we got to figure. I really hate that I have to include the .godot file because look at all this garbage. I really, really hate that. I was curious if I could open up, or not curious if I could, if I should open up an issue and be like, man, don't make me include the .godot file because it is, look at this. It's ugly. It's fucking ugly, man. I'm just looking and making sure everything's working over here. I guess it is. It says no one's chatted. Yeah, no shit. Oh, all right. Okay. So what we were doing is basically trying to, besides tearing everything apart and make it more readable, we were trying to make it so that prioritization was working. The reason I'm mentioning this is because I can't remember exactly what step we were on. Prioritize construction improvement list, generate prioritized building lists. What does this thing do? Get all the people who are helpful and loyal for prioritized construction and work. If they're heroes, oh yeah, we made a bunch of new lists. That's one of the things we did. We stumbled across some weird stuff that I had written in the past. We did this. We fixed some other things. Oh yeah, we were fixing all sorts of stuff. Prioritize workers list. What is this one? Prioritize builders list. Yeah, so now we have two separate methods. They're almost identical, but it seems to be the way to do it. I don't know. I was mentioning this in the past couple of streams, the past 100 streams, that I often don't wish that, I don't know exactly if I'm doing things the best practice way. So I kind of am winging it, and I wish it's, I had a mentor that would be like, no, you're supposed to do it this way. But, who knows what they know. Okay, so we're doing prioritize assign builders to improvement. So this is for builders, not workers. We were sorting a list. I remember this now. Oh yeah, we were slicing and taking. We did that. And we removed the population from list. I put this note in here. Make sure we clear the prioritized workers list so the heroes aren't always on there. Maybe we are to the point where we're just going through and making sure this is all right, just so we can test it. We should probably test that this is sorting correctly. I mean, yeah. I don't know. We probably want a space there. Remove population from list. So let's go back here because I don't remember. Oh yeah, so we're assigning workers to this list, heroes to this list ahead of time, and there was a reason why we were doing, which I already forget. Add heroes, and this is the builders, and then this is the workers. So we add them there. I thought we were bigger. I thought I had zoomed in more. There we go. We'll go 223. Okay, so this is adding is a hero and has been added. Generate prioritized construction list. Single Wings, how's it going? You know, one of my friends just texted me like yesterday or the day before. What name did they call me? Juan or something? I forget what it was, but they called me a different J name. And then like 10 minutes later, they corrected it and like, oops, Josh. It's like, how did they? Like we text all the time. It's literally, and I replied back, any J name works, and they thought I was like, you know, it was they didn't know that that's a thing. It must have been like autocorrect of some sort of. I'm doing good. I actually have a slight headache, but I took some Advil, and I don't know if it's working yet. And I'm trying to remember what I was doing last week, but who knows? Like that's always a problem. Every Saturday stream is kind of like, what? But this is looking familiar. I think we were to the point where we were just going to go through and fix these things, but maybe not. So let's keep going. We had this. Do we need to clear prioritized building list here? Maybe. Check for prioritized work. So remember the heroes are already on here. I'm saying remember. How the heck are you, by the way? Generate prioritized work improvement list. Okay, so this is for list. So this is getting the list of buildings, right? Because we did it. We're doing it differently now. So we have the list of buildings that are on the prioritized, and then we generate the workers list if. Okay, so we have a note in here. Add building to. Okay, so here we go. We got to do this add builders. This is what we're doing. Oh, but we have it. Well, let's put an S here. Assign builders to improvement, but we haven't had add workers to improvement. So that seems to be the next step. WebGL into some things. What's WebGL? WebGL. Graphics library. How hardcore is it? There used to be some, God, what is that, Battlefield game that you can play in a browser that I always thought was interesting because there's so few games that you can play in a browser. Like it was a first-person shooter that actually worked. I don't know how well it worked. It seemed to work fine when I played it. It was free. It said 2D and 3D graphics. That seems intense. Clear prioritized workers list. Okay, so add workers to improvement is what we got to do next. I keep glancing over here to see if we have something. Let's go over to this assign builders to improvement. And did we already? Whoa, look at this thing. Maybe we were working on this last time. Add builders. Oh, we were. So wait. We have this assign the heroes, and then we were doing this again. But this is inside this for each. Okay, it's supposed to be inside there. Wow, this thing's intense. Update the remaining work. I remember this now. Do you have to like make a bunch of 3D models and stuff? I guess you have to. If you do 3D stuff, obviously. Okay, so it looks to me like this is ready to go. This one's finished. And it really has, I click on this sometimes because when you click on it, it updates, and sometimes it doesn't have any references. So it has that one reference. So we have add heroes, and then we should put on here, this adds the normal population. And this is where we had to do that. I forget what I was saying. 2D, 3D, do you have to make all the models and stuff for it? And I think that's what I was talking about. Oh, no, it fixed. That was on the other thing. Did that fix? Yeah, they fixed that where it was doing that flashing thing. Okay, so I think I know where we're at here. So we need another one of these. I can see why I only had one of them before, because it's kind of a lot. We want this to be at the bottom. Not at the very bottom, but... And this is worker, population work start. If that's the case, though, doesn't it seem like this should be in or the hero work start? I'm going to put a note in here. that's oh yeah, I know that feeling, like the basics, trying to get just the basics. And man, I was thinking about the first project I tried in Unity after I tried it, whatever. On my third attempt at game design, I was messing around with 3D stuff, and I don't know why I thought it would be easy. It was so hard. And I found like a tutorial that I went through every step, learning each thing. And it didn't do me any good because I didn't learn that much. I just copied and pasted code. It was a nightmare. I feel like this should be two separate things. Since we're breaking shit down anyways, let's go to the real one though. Well, let's make this assign workers with one S. This has not been changed at all from assign, because I'm builders to improvement. We're going to come back to this, is why I'm putting that note in there. Just in case later I'm like, why does this say all this stuff? So should we break this down into two things? I think going through this once, the list once, is fine, but we could break this part down. All right, and we're not sorting this. We are not sorting the list till here because the heroes are at the top of the list to start with. So next, man, what's that 3D editing program, Maya or something? There's Blender is what I was thinking of. There's Blender and another one. I downloaded Blender. I think it's on this computer. Yeah, I did. And messed with it a tiny bit for some test project. And I was like, I don't want to add that to what I have to learn. You know what I mean? Right now, it's just too much. It was too much to like additional things. Like you gotta like kind of set your goal. At least for me, I gotta set my goals of what I'm challenging myself with, and like adding also Blender on there. It was too much, and I was like, no, I need to do 2D only. I was able to do whatever I was trying to do. I think maybe I gave up. So we could break this down into its own method. And then we can break this down into its own method. And then what we could do, then we could pass in a list and it would work in both things. Let's not do that. We could do that, but let's not do it. Let's just keep going with like. I kind of feel like we should. No, because we'll figure it out when we do another re-edit of this in like 2 months, we'll do it then. Because this would be in hero work. Is the reason why I'm thinking about this. This would be in hero work start. We would move this to hero work start. And then this would be in population work start still. Maybe we should do that. Then we rename this to whatever, gather work builders. We would be up here, gather builders, and then we would call this assign builders to improvement to prioritize. We could, then we're going to do this again when they're not prioritized. So then we could, yeah, we should. Okay. All right. So I just came to this is, because we will for each the same method, but with a different list and a different spot. So assign builders to, we'll leave that there, I think, and we'll go say like public. Hey, actually, yeah, it's not even going to be here. We're going to copy this thing. We're going to put this in worker or hero. What's going on here? And we're going to call that, we're going to be public static. No. Yes. Static. So this thing's already called assign, so I don't want to call it the same thing. Assign heroes to improvement. That will work. Assign heroes to improvement. I don't know what we're going to be passing in yet, but we're going to be passing in something here. We need a county improvement data. And we're going to need a county data, looks like. It weirds me out too, since you mentioned shaders up a bit there, is that there's like a specific shader language too, and I don't know if that's like universal or what. I don't know what the deal is with that. All right, so then we're going to go back, and we're not passing in. Oh, we are checking max builders though. We might have to change. I was thinking, could we make max builders and workers? Oh, is there a different? Are shaders in different? Is there multiple shader? I thought there was just one shader language. I guess we could ask ChatGPT. I don't know how. In programming, are there multiple shader languages? Oh, it's each. Okay, so that makes more sense to me then. So there's each graphic thing has its own shader. That totally makes sense. I guess I never thought about it that. And then here's, now this is some other thing. What's yours? WebGL. What about web? GLSO, that's what you were just saying? Didn't you mention that, or was it that just no? GLSL, OpenGL. I like when they're open source, so that's good. You did. It's right. It says somewhere. Yeah, it totally makes sense. I guess I just never thought about why I was using some strange script in language inside of a language when I mess with shaders a little bit in one of my things. And I was like, why isn't this C#? That's all I was thinking about was why isn't this C#? So this should probably be to build improvement. We'll worry about making this work with workers as well later. So what we're going to do is go back to here, cut this, and then we're going to go hero work start dot assign heroes to build improvements. We need to pass in this county improvement data. Whoops. Well, we need that too. But now I've already started the removal of it. And then we need to pass in this county data. Assign heroes to build improvement. And then this part. Oh, we got rid of these. That's okay. We can put this in here. No, wait. Do we need it? We don't. We don't actually. This will just be a new thing. It's just, it was updating the old number. We don't give a fuck about the old number. The old number can go fuck itself. Whoops. We need this though. This whole thing. We'll cut this, and then we're going to do a new one, and we're going to say public. No, this one's going to be private, I think. Assign. Fuck you. Assign. Whenever I'm saying fuck you, it's usually to my hands. People. All right, we'll use population to build improvement, and then we're pretty much going to do the same thing. We're going to need a county improvement data. I feel like it should know, like it should be able to guess better of what I want. I guess the first thing that's coming up is a county data. So in reality, a county data should come first, and we'll fix that other one. And then a county improvement data. So maybe it was giving a good guess there. And then we'll put this, and we'll assign population, assign population, and then we'll go county data, county improvements. We'll do this, we'll save this, we'll jump over to here, we'll switch these around. Cut, comma, paste. We got too many commas in here. And then, I don't know why we did all that work, but we did. So we're going to do assign builders to improvements. We need to swap this around. There we go. So we have the hero start, assign heroes to build improvement, and assign population. Now this seems like a dumb thing that I have this special hero work start, but whatever. We're going to keep it separate. Well, if I change my mind later, we can do that. Let's make sure, so we have this list from the county data. Oh yeah, we were going to fix this at some point, but I wanted to feel more comfortable with the dots later, because it's going to change that to dots. So we will fix that. Then we have this sorted list, but I remember now I didn't like that this is called a sorted list, because at this point the list is not sorted, but now it is. So this should all work. We remove them from the list. Do we remove them from this and this other one? We remove them from the list, so they're good. This one is not sorted. We do not sort this list because at this point the heroes should be at the top of the list, and their skill, it doesn't matter. They just get assigned even if they're shitty at it. While in this one, their skill does this matter. This list is getting sorted because the population's skill does matter. And the heroes should have been removed from the list at this point. These are all notes for future me. All right, so we got this shit. We just rewrote this thing. Adds builders to improvement. And I'm not sure where we're putting this, clearing this thing. Check for prioritized work improvement. So then it's going to do that. Assign people to the prioritized work improvement. Then we actually have to add the workers here. So we're going to go back to what we just did and basically make a copy, but for not for builders, for workers. And I think we will keep it two separate things. It's a lot of duplicate code. It's a lot of duplicate code. So did I already start working on this? Well, this is the one where I just renamed it. So I guess I kind of did. So we should have another list at this point. Let's make this so that this is down here. And the list should be like, I don't remember what it's called, but it's probably prioritized something. Workers? Come on, man. Work improvement list. There we go. Adjusted max workers. Let's put this down here. I think this is bigger than I did it last time. Here, we'll go back to 208 or 3 or whatever that is. That's the same. Okay, so this is the same thing where we're going to be copying this into its own thing here. So we're going to need a hero work start for this stuff. Basically what's in here. We can't test any of this stuff, which sucks, until we fix all of those bugs. This is a prioritize hero worker. What is this list? We made another, I forgot that we made another list. Workers to remove from list, add, okay, I see what we were doing here. Did we make this work? Does this work? Are we adding? This is going to be a problem. So I found that whenever I am editing copy and pasted stuff, I forget, I miss one thing, and it's hard to debug later. Because I'm looking for something and it's just like checking the wrong list or it's getting the wrong variable. I feel like I'm covered in ants or something, but I'm not. All right, so let's go through this again. Worker, we're looking for the word builder. Anything that says builder. When are we clearing this list? When it's done being built, it should clear that list, and that should already be working. Oh yeah, and the slice could be a slice can be simplified as well, but it changes it to like dots or something. And once again, update activity should be work. All right, this looks right. So this is almost a duplicate of this thing. And once again, it's that question though, where are you supposed to have these the same, and just like have a bool or something that differentiates what they're doing, but I think we're going with the concept that we're supposed to be that they're all going to be separate for now. I think that's what we're going with. Then we need a county data and we need a county improvement data. And this is going to be the same thing where we make this over here. We make a copy of it. Once again, wish I had something. You know, ChatGPT isn't gonna understand what I'm asking. I mean, it does to a point. We asked this. We asked. No, we want this whole thing. We asked it last time, and it basically said break it down. But I wish I had a human. But then I also don't like to do what I'm told. You know, I don't like it when people tell me what to do. So then I would just do the opposite, just to be a fucking dickhead. Assign population to build and to work at. Let's do work. Same thing here where we're gonna change this all to prioritize work. Prioritize workers list. That seems right. Oh shit, look, we're checking. Oh no, this one is right. So this is gonna have to be different. This one we're gonna check. We're gonna sort it by county improvement data, work skill. I'll copy this. And then update the remaining slots, builders, workers. We'll make this come down here. Available workers slots. Prioritize workers. Not with 2 S's. I'm gonna go double check something over here. All right. Remaining worker slots available. Worker. Then we're using that take thing again. Workers. I feel like I'm very blurry over here. Am I always that blurry? I wonder, because I did mess with some NVIDIA thing where there was like an NVIDIA broadcast. Got updated. Oh yeah, I was fucking with it last time. Whoops. With that weird eyeball thing. Forgot about that. Oh yeah, it's at 300. And now it's dead. Or it was at 30 instead of, I don't know. I think I fixed it on my other computer. What is this? Available workers. This should be work. Prioritize workers. I'm just double checking. Workers. One of these is going to be wrong. And it's going to be a problem. I know myself well enough to know that this is going to be. This list is getting started because the population skill does matter, and the heroes should have been removed from the list at this point. Actually, the heroes, I think, are in their own list. Is that true? Prioritize builders list. Prioritize hero builder list. Yeah, the heroes are in their own list at this point. Leaf, how's it going? It's going good. I'm doing, you know, I was saying, I've said this many a time that I'm doing like a refactor, as they call it. Basically tearing shit up and putting it back together. And I actually really like that part of this part of programming where I get to look at my old code and just like completely change it. Because I don't know why, but this part I like. I really like it. And so I'm doing the part where that I really like. There's like a few things I really dislike about programming. It's interesting. Somebody in chat was saying they love everything about programming, and I wish I was like that, where I loved everything. So I think this is right. but we need the other part of this, which we haven't written yet. Is that a common feeling? Good to know. So we have to do this. I mean, I don't even know if I'm making it better, but I'm making it different. We talk about imposter syndrome, Stinklewinkz, and me talk about that all the time because it is an interesting thing that it happens so much. Yeah, yeah. I leave it. Do you do it for a living? That's always I feel like doing it for a living is makes it even different though, like even more powerful. I definitely, when I started my IT manager job, felt like I didn't know what I was doing. Now I feel like I know what I'm doing, and I'm kind of an asshole about it. No, I try not to be an asshole. We need a county data passed in here. Sorry if you've already told me this before, Lee, but my memory's shot. Sometimes I can remember, so I've been playing Tarkov, everyone knows that game. And it's made just like to punish the player, and one of the things you got to do is like memorize the maps. Like it's fucking insane. And I can't remember any of the important stuff on the map unless someone's shooting at me in the game. Like I have to have died there, otherwise I'm like wandering blindly, because you can like load the game without any enemies and like look through the map to try to figure out where stuff is. Doesn't do me any good unless I die and I go, oh yeah, there's where I died. Oh, I don't want to go here. It's my fucking shitty ass memory. Assign workers to improvement. Let's make sure, yeah, so we're getting to cut this. And we're going to put assign population to work improvement. There we go. So now we found where we were, and we have improved this. And I'm putting an S on here, so it's more, because that was a note to myself last time, but now it's still a note to myself, but it was a note to myself from last week into today, and now it's a note in the thing. Clear prioritize workers list. I don't know if we're going to do this. Okay, so this is a different note to myself. I misunderstood my... Okay, so we do want an else here. Do we want an else, though? Or do we just need to clear that list regardless? I think we need to just clear this list regardless. And then down here, I'm going to put... This is a different thing. I think we need to clear the prioritized work building list here. So what we need to do to make this, to figure out exactly where I need to put these other things, is we need to fix all these bugs so that I can run the program. So what is this thing's problem? Check for scavenging food. Where did we move this thing to? This is a 2D 4X game. It's the one. This is the game that I work on most of the time. I've streamed another game called Hex Demon, where a couple of times, and I have one called something Hex Panzer Hex. I don't know. That I also want to stream, but I want to get that one to a much farther along. This is the most complicated nightmare project I decided to work on, and uh, it's by far way more complicated than the other two games that I want to stream. But it's also I think it's the most fun for me, maybe because it's the most like just crazy. I'm always doing something new, like manipulate. How do I sort a list? Like I guess that's pretty basic stuff. But where did I move this shit to? Oh, maybe I renamed it. Oh, you know what I did is I think I turned it into no. There's this list. Yeah, workers to remove from this one. Okay, so this from possible Pillsbury Doughboy. What? I wonder, like, can I bring up this picture? Let's see if I can bring up this picture. It has nothing to do with Pillsbury Doughboy, but my bathroom had a leak in it, and so I'm getting it redone. And I love hex stuff in games, video games. This is where you like put your shampoo and shit. I was like, can we throw some hexes in there somewhere? And the guy was like, yeah, what about right here? And I was like, fuck yeah, let's do it. There's gonna be hexes in my bathroom. A little fun joke for myself. It'll be fine, right? All right, what the hell is going on here? I got rid of this possible works. What is this thing? What did I do here? Why did I do this to my future self? Let's go to the top. I know I moved a bunch of stuff around. Okay, we renamed it workers to remove from lists. Decals, that's 50 years from now. I'll never finish any of this shit. I've accepted that, but I don't keep pretending to myself. I keep lying. Where were we at? We can just go here. All right, so I rename this thing to that. Remove workers from possible workers, and then I also renamed how that thing works. Let's do these one at a time instead of like just bam, bam, bam. That's true. I could still. Lord Mac, how's it going? I should have a shrine to Dominions. Just the Ryla, or whatever the name of the crazy people are in Dominions. What are they called? Ryla? Ryla. Oh, here, there's a thing to one of. Not Pangea. Ryla. They're spelled funny. Here we are. Ryla. They're like the squid people. They why can't I think of the word? Their dominion is that wasn't the word I was thinking. Their dominion is insanity. They spread insanity. Leaf, the thing about the Godot robot is Joker, who comes in here sometimes does tutorials, and he always has that little robot doing all sorts of crazy shit. That little icon. It's probably it's this icon, but it usually comes. I think it comes when you start a new project. So we got to figure out if this thing that I wrote, I renamed it. we'll work with okay, so we're doing the list to remove people from. List to remove people from, it goes in there now. So if we can go back to this, so how this works now is we'll cut this, and we'll what did we call this? Remove population from list, and then we need to pass in what list. So this is going to be the possible workers list, because you can't manipulate the list while you're inside of a for loop, was why we have to do this. All right, so that should be, now it's coming back to me here, except I just whatever. And then this should be the same. Something's going to be seriously wrong here, by the way, when we're done fixing all these errors. There's going to be some serious problems. Find idle populate workers to remove from possible lists. Why is that there? We'll get rid of it, and then we'll suffer the consequences in the next hour. We'll wonder why I did such a terrible thing to myself. Okay, what are we doing in this thing? Check for preferred work. Oh yeah, we have that whole thing. Possible workers list. Update work location. I think I just moved this somewhere. Was it under population work? Start? We'll find out. It was not. Where did I move this to? I moved it to nowhere. That's my favorite, when I moved it to nowhere. All right, so I deleted this. So let's get rid of this guess here. What does this thing do? This updates their activity. We just need to make this work temporarily. And I don't want to comment stuff out, though, because a lot of times what happens is then later I can't remember why it's that like that. Or I can't find it. Possible workers list. So what does this do? Because we're going to rewrite this too, but I just need it to work for right now. Check for preferred work. Possible workers list. Remember. Okay, so this is going to assign them. So we have there's a whole different way that we do this, and it's this. I mean, this is close enough. So we have population data. I wonder what this thing used to do. We're going to have to fix that problem. Update their we have two update of activities here now. Yeah, we're gonna have to do some serious testing to this. But we aren't there yet. We gotta test the prioritized stuff first, I think. What the hell is this thing called? Workers. And then this is gonna be remove. But then we need to pass in a list. What list are we doing? Oh, this is the possible workers list. All right, we only got a couple left, and then we can run it. Hopefully. So this is the same thing. We had just had like something called update work. I wonder if that was under, we searched for this, right? Uh, yeah, I like renamed it and just left it. So we'll copy over this same thing. Once again, we're gonna have to test this pretty, and this should probably just be its own method. So we can just have one method. I think that's right. I mean, once again, it's gonna be a pretty serious debugging. Whoops. Debugging sesh. Check for construction. Assign builders to county improvement. I think we have changed how this is done completely, but we just rewrote it and broke it into smaller pieces, so we can just put those two smaller pieces in here. I don't think this actually exists anymore. Yeah, it doesn't. We got rid of that. It doesn't exist anywhere because we broke it into two. Would you click hands? Hands, would you click? So what we're gonna do is this. I don't know if we need this for each, so we're gonna go back to here. No, it looks like we already have this. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. We're gonna go, where is this? Under county data? We're gonna go. We don't have a county data though. And so we're back to that the same thing. We've been able to get away with this for so long and I can still do it. Basically, it's we don't know, the county improvement doesn't know where it is, which is crazy that we've been able to get away with this. And I keep saying that at some point we don't need this county data because we can get away with this. I don't know how we pulled this off so far. Get out of here. What's your problem? Oh, we have a private. It's set to private. I don't think this is what we want right here. This says check. This is called check for construction, and this is assigning people to the construction. What did that say? It was like update construct. Can I compare this? Where is this file? What line are we on? About 300? Assign builders to county. That's what we were doing, but we called it check for construction. Sometimes I wonder if my names are deliberate. Deliberately bad. Assign people to construction. Let's actually call it assign everyone. Because it's doing heroes as well. So now we can build it once. What time is it? Yeah, we can build it and then we'll run it and we'll be upset because it's going to have all sorts of issues. But we're checking prioritization first. Then we're going to fix each one of the things after it built and it didn't have any problems. I'm curious. I haven't got those errors that I was whining about for the past 6 months. All right, it was only 3 months, but it was a long time. Oh, there they are. Now there's 30 of them. They're just growing in number. Is there any other ones? Are they new? I guess I have to. I have to put in a thing. What are we testing? Okay, so this is now embedded over here, which is why this looks strange. Oh yeah, we made less people so that we could have it. How did we make this so that it was easy? I don't know if I like the embeddedness though, because then I have to do this. I have to fuck around with this to make it big enough, and I gotta turn this off so I can get the whole screen in here. So we're gonna build a Fisher shed. And we're gonna build a second Fisher shed. We're gonna prioritize Fisher shed 2. We're gonna hit play at speed 1. Okay, so we should have some information here. So I meant to test the hero, but I didn't. I mean, these people got assigned to it, but does that mean anything? They got assigned to the correct one, too. Are these other people? No, they are helpful. So there's only 6 people. Yeah, this isn't the preferred work either. I don't think this is right. I think this person should have got assigned to the second, or the first Fisher shed. This part's right, and that's, I guess, what we're checking is that make sure that that's right. But let's restart it. Let's make the hero be set to build and see if that works. We didn't get any errors, which is kind of, or bugs or whatever. So let's do this right. Hero. We can't put them on build yet. So we're gonna go construct. We're gonna go construct. We're gonna set this on prioritize. We're gonna minimize that, do that. We're gonna set you on build now. I did do that. I did have that thing where it always sets them to work, even when you set them on build. That might actually be able to be changed. And then we're going to go up to 3 o'clock. So that didn't work. So the hero should be oh, they're working the Fisher shed? Yeah, I think Bumblebee, how's it going? I think it's because of this button. Because I hadn't updated what we did with that button. Which was under something. Which was under here. Yeah, because see here, I'm gonna fix these cases. It's already upsetting me. Stupid cases. I'm gonna make them and eat them right now. I mean, not right now. I'm gonna take a quick break, and then when I get back, I'm gonna change these to items because which ones work? I don't remember. I mean, obviously these are work, but I need to change this, and I don't remember which one is build and which one is work, so I have to go look it up. So if I change them to an item, though, I don't have to do that. I can just int them. All right, I'm gonna take a quick break though, and there's that picture of my bathroom. Let me pause this that you can't hear. Let me go to my thing and throw up my break timer. And I'll be right back. just banged the microphone on a piece of metal. I wonder how that sounded to you guys. All right, break timer off. Music that you can't hear on. There we go. What were we doing? We're gonna fix this. We're gonna fix this enum thing too. What is this called though? Hero panel container. Oh yeah, this is alphabetized. Hero panel container. Activities. Hero panel container activities. And so there's gonna be, we might need to rename this to something else later, but there's gonna be what was the deal? We couldn't use these other ones because these activities are, we couldn't use these because they don't match up with the number in the array. So the array is in a different order than this. Could we, let's look at this array. Could we, where is this array? It's right here. It's these check boxes. And these are passing in ints. Well, we're passing in an int. When you check this, could we pass in, let's look at this signal, which is down here. Can we bind an enum here? We can't bind an enum, but we can bind its correct. We could bind its correct thing to match. We can bind like 7 to be this. And then over here, we can be the case 7 would be. Can we do this though? Let's pretend like we're gonna. I think we go int all enums activities. We need to put in here whatever. We can do that. So we might not need this. Okay, so let's make this work. It's going to be a little weird. Once again, for future me, I'm going to have to somehow remember. So this would equal scavenge. So what we would do is we would bind a different, we would pass in not the number of the checkbox, but the number of the activity, which we would have to put in an int because we can't do a, so we'll say this is build, since these are the same. We do work. What is this one? Research. And then this one would be explore. Once again, though, we have to look this crap up, which I don't like, but luckily once we've bound it once, so what is this activity? I think this will work. And then we can, it's easier for a human to read this shit. Let's put a note in here though. The int bound in the signal is the equivalence to the enum in the case. So if we look back at this one's scavenge, which was 0, so it should be 2, 3, 4. Oh, I can just hover over this. This is 6. So we would do 6. Whoops. So then I think we can test this with just this one. I think. Yeah, I got to do something about this. This is driving me crazy. And this happened before where something was driving me crazy. I don't know where to ask, though. Like where we figure out. Whoops. Yeah, the index is at a range. There's got to be some forum or something. Index was outside the bound of an array. So when we click this, it's messing with some other thing. Where is this thing being passed to? Hero activities checkbox pressed. Hero activities checkbox pressed. Deselect all other checkboxes. Okay, so this is part of the problem. I don't think we can use the activities. I think we got to have that other thing. Or we just stick with the numbers. It's just a bummer to have. I guess I could put like a guide in there so I don't have to look back at. Let's just do that for now, and because this is a very small problem, you know. Yeah, we have to switch this back to 0. I keep double clicking on that like it will do something, but it doesn't. It does not do anything. Bind 0. Yeah, because it works with those things. So then back to here, we'll just put up here, which is dumb. Actually, we'll put it above each one. 0. Scavenge. See, this is dumb, right? This is dumb. It's got to be done, though. I mean, we could do it a different way, but it'd be a pain in the ass. This is going to be work. And I think actually these are backwards. That one's work. This is build. Yeah, so this is backwards. This is work. And then this is 3. this is research. Why does programming have to be all numbers? And then this is explore. Why can't we use just letters? I'm always talking about it at my work. People's names are the worst, man. Having to deal with people's names. We always wish everyone could just be numbers. THX1138, right? Okay, so that should be back to what this is. We know what these are. We need to change this to build, though, I think, is what's going on over there. Because we changed how things work. But that's not 100% true, or I'm not 100% sure because I can't remember, but we will find out in like 5 minutes here. Okay, 2 minutes, 1 minute, 30 seconds. We're going to turn off output. We're going to we're going to construct this. We're going to construct it twice. We're going to click prioritize here. We're going to close this. I'm going to put you on build. And then we're going to wait till 3 o'clock. Okay, so that worked. If he's on build, let's see what our output, if we got any other errors. We had 30 before. All right, so that worked though. Yeah, I don't know if I'm digging this embedded thing. Because it's kind of a pain. Like it doesn't, I gotta do this. Then it readjusts. I do have a number game. It's a spreadsheet game, and that's gonna be a thing eventually. Is people are gonna want more data. I've been playing some EU4, and I'm always like, I need more data. So the prioritize thing works. Let's let it run and see what happens. How's your thing going, Bumblebite? Have you got a chance to get back on it? Don't feel pressure. Okay, so then it kicked him to work. Oh, we need to fix this because I don't know which one completed without looking over here. So this one completed, and he's working on it. So we have something that's kicking him back over to work, though. Oh, he's working it. Okay, so we have a bug somewhere. So these guys are. Wait, what's going on? This is done. These guys weren't taken off the list correctly, and this guy's, yeah, everything's all fucked up. As expected. So first off, let's fix this. Since we are using the build button, let's fix how this works. Because I noticed it kicked over to work. And it shouldn't do that. I think hierarchy weapon building system. Almost dying like in a good way. Like you want to do it, or it's like it's painful to do. So I think the problem we're having here is that I did something a while ago that we need to undo. So this is what I was thinking of. So it goes to the hero, and if they're... Yeah, we broke this into separate lists, which is why we could use those two buttons. So this is the heroes in the county. It's going to check their activity, which is what the player sets. And if it's build... and they don't have an improvement, it adds the hero to the prioritized hero builders list. Okay, so we don't have. There's something. So this is like we haven't gotten to the next part. It's a pain. Um, the results being good is good. I hate when I do something that's a pain and the results are bad. Feels like I do that all the time, where they're mediocre, not necessarily bad, but just like I guess that'll work. And I kind of understand now when any games that I play, where the parts of it are just kind of like meh. The developer ran out of steam on that. So we don't even have the second part. So that's going to cause all sorts of issues. I don't know why it kicked over to the other thing. So we're going to have to go. We're ready to start. Going through and making sure that the second part happens. We have the first part seeming to work. So this is generating the prioritized stuff. This is generating the. Oh, we still haven't decided if we should clear these lists. I'm staring at this like. I think we should clear the prioritized lists. At the beginning, right here. We do have a clear prioritized workers list down here. Let's get rid of this else. And then let's clear. This should probably be under like county improvement data or something. Actually, where does this thing live? This is in our clear prioritized workers list. That's in the county data. We need to clear. Linking things together with IDs. Yeah, I don't like IDs that much either. I don't know what the deal is. Everything uses IDs, I feel like. And I have some. And I don't know if I'm doing the best way to do it, but I feel like that's when you Google like how to solve a problem. It's always like make this an ID, especially with items. And then get an ID in Godot, they get that hidden. I mean, it's not hidden, but it's each object gets some string of garbage numbers. I think we need to clear the prioritized work buildings here. So if this is greater than 0, we assign all this. This is where we need to do it. So this is our construction part. If the prioritized construction improvement list is greater than 0, we assign these guys. Then we just clear the list, I think is what we can do. I think this is where we should do it. So we get rid of the prioritized construction list. This heroes list should be double. Well, let's do this one thing and then we'll come back. Then this should just clear the prioritized workers list. Sorry, prioritize work improvement list. So that will be done. Can you have a web store without order number? You mean like where you buy something and they give you order number 7,654 and that's how you reference it from then on? How would you do it without an order number? I think about like a lot of like a, I guess MMOs is the term. You know, like where you get like every item is unique. You get a sword that has durability or whatever, and if you, I don't know if they still do this, but in the good old days, you would be able to see the number of what it was. It would be like, you know, short sword, 6,455. You know, um, so you have the order number or your name and the order date. Well, there are a couple of. I'm trying to think of one where you look up stuff that way, like you have the order date and your name, or maybe your phone number or something. But I bet you they take that information and make it a number. You know what I mean? Like they make it not an alphanumeric ID. Do you not want to use the numbers because they're just a pain to have to type in, like for the user? No, I was going to say to type in, but just for the user to read numbers, because I'm in agreement there. It's, I complain about this to myself, all the IPv6. Have you seen an IPv6 number? Jesus Christ, man. With humans can't interact with that shit. IPv6 example. Look at this shit. This one's mostly numbers too. What? You're trying to help someone, and you're like, yeah, give me your IPv6 number. Now, fuck you over the phone. Who thought of that? No one's gonna get this right. Have you seen the BitLocker code? Holy shit, that thing's like 700 characters long. I think we need to clear the okay. So the work improvement list we're clearing, and after this is done, if it's zero, there's nothing there, so we don't give a shit. The build construction, we're doing that. This is generating that list if it exists. Then we need to clear the prioritized workers list, but does this include the heroes is what I was. So this does not include heroes. So let's write another one of these. Clear prioritized heroes list. Whoops. I was going to copy and paste that thing, but who cares? Oh, there's two different lists, but I think we're talking about workers. Prioritize hero workers. Did I already have one of these? And then we'll do it here. This shouldn't be here though. Where was this? This should be over here. And we're going to need a clear prioritized builders list too. I'm like deep in. I see that there's a message over there. I'm not ignoring you. I just got to get the, whoops. Got to get this typed in or I will forget what I was doing. Okay. Yeah, you know, I distinctly remember 5 years ago, maybe, where it was all over the news where they're like, we're out of IPv4, we're fucked. Everyone has to go to IPv6. And it was like, all right, I guess now's the time, you know, make sure your routers have IPv6 turned on, make sure this stuff. And then like a couple years later, everyone was like, just disable the IPv6 stuff. It's a pain in the ass. And it's like, and you know, in the original time, I heard that people were like, universities and stuff a lot of times had static IPv4 addresses for like every computer, because at the beginning, you know, they were just giving that shit out. They were just like, every university got 10,000 IPv4 addresses. And so universities were selling the IPv4 numbers off because they didn't need them because they have, you know, the DMARC and the uh, uh, internal IP address. And I remember when, so I don't remember how long ago it was, but I remember with the excitement about it being like, yeah, we don't have to worry about the number. Oh, I closed it already. But then I don't think we knew what they were going to look like. And so there's a thing that every Windows computer has called Quick Assist. And so you can help someone else with their Windows computer with Quick Assist. So like if I wanted to help you, Bumblebite, I would open up Quick Assist on my computer. You would open up Quick Assist on your computer. And then my computer generates a code and I give the code to you. And the code is alphanumeric. And once again, it's back to, did you say B or T? Just use fucking numbers, man. Just have a longer string of numbers. Numbers do not have that problem where people cannot understand what you're saying. Every time, is it a capital T? No, it's a lowercase b. Because I use Quick Assist all the time in my day job, so I experience this in a daily thing, and a lot of times I'll just text them the thing. I'm just gonna text you the code because I don't want to read it to you because it's gonna 15 minutes I was trying to figure out. Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking. It's developer brain set in is what happened. Someone was like, if we do alphanumeric, we can have this many more, you know, available IPv6 numbers, and they didn't think about humans using the goddamn things. Developer brain. All right, clear prioritized workers list is here. Why don't we have a clear prioritized builders list? Public, static, void, clear, prioritized builders list, county data, county data. They can't even hear numbers. For real? County data dot prioritized. I was thinking if I spelled that right. Workers builders list clear. Okay. We need a line here. And I keep saying okay again. So now we go back to this. Let's double check that we got all these lists. This was the wrong spot. We got all these lists being cleared in the correct spot. So we have this. This is the, once again, remember these guys are getting added to their own list now. And then that list gets sorted at some point. Somewhere. We generate prioritized builders list. We assign builders to improvement, which must be in here. I'm just going to double check that we are using prioritize hero builders list. Perfect. We go back to here. This thing's done. We're done with the builders stuff. We clear off. This is done. We can just clear this here. No, it has to be outside of this though. So then we go hero work, start, clear, prioritize, builders list. Boom, we got to pass in a county data though. This back to my work. I'm always talking about my work. Everyone complains about VoIP, and I never have any issues because I'm at a computer and I'm talking, over the internet. But cell phones are shitty, and they've always been shitty. The call quality on cell phones have been shitty since day one, and it's kind of interesting that people don't accept that call quality is just shitty. I have a sneeze coming on here. 1 second. Well, maybe it's actually gone. Prioritized builders list. Okay, so then we're going to put a note in here. Clear the prioritized builders lists. So that's done. Then we check for work improvements. Prioritize work improvements is an important word there. Then if there's any of those, we generate the prioritized workers lists. Because the heroes list should already be generated, but we haven't. I don't think we did do that. I'm just going to double check. Yeah, workers, builders. And so the heroes prioritized list has already been built. We did this one. We assign the workers. This includes adds workers to improvements, adds workers, adds builders, and heroes. It does both. Adds workers and heroes. Okay, this shit needs to get out of here. No. So then we're prioritize work improvement list. We're clearing that at the end because it's, yeah, we're clearing that. Then over here, we need to do the same thing we did before, but with the other list. This list. And then we're going to clear the workers list, clear the prioritized workers lists. All right, so now I think we're good with the prioritized stuff. Now we need to go to the normal work thing, which is all fucked up because we've changed how everything works. But I think we can reuse some of this stuff that we've created, I hope. Not with just copying and pasting, but with actual methods. Probably not, actually. I don't know. So at this point, we need a new list of heroes, though. But we can add them here to that list. Add hero. Consider, I feel like I'm very indecisive with, because I am considering all the options. Back to that bathroom thing, man, I can't decide on anything. The bathroom remodel because of the leak. All right, so we were going to have this is where we hadn't really got thinking back to the concept of considering things forever. We were considering this the way we were going to do this last time, and I just said, well, get to it later, and now here we are. So let's go look at what lists we created up here. The three, yeah, it is. I guess is it three? It's two colors now. It's just black and red, even though he still wants to put white in there. So we have a possible builders list, and we have a possible workers list. These should probably be next to each other. So the reason I'm staring at this so intently is I don't know. I think we have to do a possible hero builder, possible hero, because this is the reason why we keep having to break these apart. We want to sort the list, and so what I was doing is I was like adding them all to one and then breaking them into two and then adding them back together, and it's like, why the fuck not just start out with two lists? That's what's going on here. We had all this breaking lists apart and adding them together. Why not just start out with two lists? So let's do that. We're going to do And in fact, we can rename this, though, to just builders list. We don't need possible anymore. That was like, yeah, we'll just do possible. Oh, is that where we're calling it? Fuck it. We're just going to get rid of this. We'll do camel case this thing. But we're also going to need a hero one. Do heroes come first? It looks like for some reason heroes come second, even though... Hero builders. We're going to have a lot of lists, but who cares? Hero workers. All right. Then back up to, what's your problem? It doesn't? Didn't I just... Builders list? Oh, I accidentally I cut it. Oh. Oh. There we go. All right. Then, I keep saying the all right thing. I just can't stop. So what we're going to do is when click through, you there we go. Then we're going to add in, we're going to write a method for this though. Didn't I say I wanted to make this shorter? The whole point of this is to make there less of this. Do we need this crap anymore? No, we're done with this. We're done with this craziness. It's like 900 lines that were commented out. Okay, it was 100 lines, but add heroes. All right, so we can just make a copy of one of these. Oh, wait. We have something up here. Do we have some other ones? Let's rename this one because we just renamed this list. Looks like we have half of it done. And I'm not going to put the population data. I don't know. So we're going to need another one of these, though. And that's going to be to workers list. And this is going to be workers list. And then we're going to need like 2 of these things. Add hero to hero worker list. Add hero to hero builder list. And then this is going to be hero. I'm listening to Amanda Palmer right now. And I really like her music. But that Neil Gaiman thing where it turns out he's a piece of shit. She was married to him and she's like involved with it, I guess. So she might be a piece of shit too. It's a bummer. Gotta divorce your mind from their art from their personality. So we're going to add these heroes here. We're going to add him. So this is the builders one. And then we're going to add to the workers list. There we go. See, so the possible workers list, the old thing that was a possible workers list, at the end of it, whoever was left over was getting used in scavenging. So I'm not sure what's going to go on there. We're going to have to figure that out. All right, so that deals with our heroes are going to get assigned. They always get assigned ahead of time. Then we do this find idle population. Oh my god, then we check for preferred work. Why did I come up with this preferred work idea? It's a pain in the ass. All right, so for each population in the population data list, we're going to go through everyone, and if they're idle, helpful, and loyal, add them to the possible workers list. Add them to the workers list. And so this is worker list add. So that looks right. So now we have a list. We have two lists. We have a hero worker list. What about builders? What about building? Maybe we don't need a builders list. How do they get assigned? In what order do they get it? So then they're going to get assigned if they're, yeah, we don't need a builders list. It's the same list because they're going to get assigned. Do I think Notch? Yeah. I've never read anything good about that dude. It is shocking. Doesn't he have like $1 billion? Like at that point, you can just like sit on your ass and help people. it's shocking. It's shocking that happens. There's something that must happen to your brain when you get rich that like perverts it, like fucks it up. So I did notice this when I bought a house, that I started to worry, and it's still happening during this construction, like about my hardwood floors. You know, wow, oh my god, this guy's fucking up my heart. Like, who cares? But I'm over here worrying about, literally, like yesterday, I was like touching oh man, he scratched my hardwood floor. You know, it's like that when you get more stuff, something starts changing in your brain. Yeah, it seems that like there should be a point when you get that much money where it goes the other direction. You know, like when you've crawled out of the living paycheck to paycheck, and you have a house or something, like you can kind of understand a little bit. But then when you get that huge amount of money, it seems like your brain should just be like, it's too much for me, give it all away or whatever. But instead, it seems like the dragon hoarding comes in. It's very strange. And it's, you know, there's that absolute power absolutely corrupts, but there's also like there's a point where like there's like no good billionaires. You know what I mean? Like people say Mark Cuban's great, but I don't know, is he? What's he doing in the background? You got like making snuff films or something? What the fuck do we know? All right. There was this guy, I can't remember his name, in the French Revolution. French Revolution noble who joined the revolution. Revolutionaries. Well, I mean, so what I meant was like the absolute power does definitely corrupt, but there's something else going on, I feel like, with money too, because money is power. Money is just free time and the ability to purchase. I think we're in agreement because it is something. There's something else going on. Maybe it's this Lafayette guy. No, I don't. Not the American. Why do you think I want to know about the American Revolution? I said French Revolution. It's because I'm American. ChatGPT knows that I'm an American, and they're like, well, he can't be talking about the French Revolution, right? No, the French Revolution. I can't remember this guy's name, but he was a nobleman who joined the peasants and was very helpful to them during the French Revolution, and they cut his head off. Just along with everybody else. They're like, nope, you're part of the problem, dude. He got guillotined. And I think there's like a point where like they knew, like even though he was cosplaying, probably. Which ones though? I'm trying to think of one that there are. I'd like to meet one or hear about one. All right, so this is the thing. We have this building list. I know I'm jumping back over to this. Yeah, I don't think I wish I could, because he's kind of an interesting guy because he was very much for the revolutionaries, you know. And like I said, I don't know if he was cosplaying. I don't think that was the case. Recently, I read about this guy. Now I'm trying to remember what his name is too, but I can't remember. He was recently in Seattle. There was like the protests and stuff. This was like a couple of years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, and there was some rich dude who was helping fund it and whatnot, and would be down there with the protesters and stuff. And a lot of the protesters had a problem with him, and everyone was like, no, the guy's like really cool. And like, so it was like, half of the protesters were like, no, fuck this rich guy. And the other guys were like, no, he's cool. He's giving us money. He's hanging out. He's with us protesting. But it turned out he was like just like a tourist. That was his thing, was like he was just tourist checking it out, and it's kind of it's the same thing where with this other guy during the French Revolution. Like, it was this guy in the French Revolution doing the same thing, and no one likes a tourist. So no, I'm pro Bill Gates spending money on curing HIV, and he was into it wasn't he wasn't curing HIV. He was malaria, I think. Isn't it malaria? But it's one of those things, like, so what does he do that we don't know about? Like, is he a good guy? And why are we allowing him to pick what he gets to help on? You know what I mean? Like, why do we allow them to decide what they get to help with? It's great. It's great and I think that he's like, it's not malaria. It's something else. It's some worm. It's the worm thing. Yeah, the well thing. I know what you're talking about. The worm. Worm. Worm toilets. No, that's not what I was thinking. It's this thing. Guinea worm disease. And I think I think that he got rid of this. Oh, maybe not. There was something that I thought that he was instrumental with his money. No, he can do good. No. I think he can do good. And I think he would be one of the people who has done good. I thought there was another thing, though. It wasn't malaria. But maybe it was this worm thing. I don't think you're being rude at all, by the way. It's not, maybe it is the worm. My memory is so bad. I know I say that every 5 minutes, but I like, here, we can ask ChatGPT. Let's see. Didn't Bill Gates eradicate something? I do think they have the potential, but I don't think that we should allow them to exist is the problem. Because they don't. They can, like if you look at it like they threw $28 million to them, that's nothing. Um, well, I think that they become evil, and we don't know what they're doing. Polio. Wait, polio? Polio has not been completely eradicated. The Foundation couldn't be. Are you sure? You sure? Yes. I thought polio was pretty much gone in like the 50s. See, here we go. Me talking out my ass again. Bill Gates polio. $1.2 billion pledge. All right, I guess it's polio. Well, that's definitely a good thing. That's obviously a very good thing to try to eradicate that. But the thing is like, why does he get to pick what he wants to eradicate? His money, he shouldn't have that much money in the first place. All right. What were we doing? So this is the problem with this is my problem. I don't know if we need the builders list because after the prioritize stuff. Okay, so wait. This is why we have two lists. It's because of the stupid player. If we didn't have a player in the game, this would be so much easier. If there was no human player. So on this screen here, if they click build, we want them to be building. And if we pick work, we want them to be working. I thought I saw something change down here. So for this find idle population, it's different. So for the population, it doesn't matter. And it goes in a certain order. With the heroes, it does matter. Because of the player. Because of the stupid player. If we didn't have any players, this would be so much easier. I mean, we don't have any players, and we won't for a long time. But, all right. So this is fine, actually. Why don't we call this like the idle population list? Idle population list. Like, why are they... Yeah. Okay. What is this clear possible workers list? Clear idle population list. So this is going to be, this is the way we'll do it, except, all right, that's the name we'll use for now. And what we can do, there's a famous saying, Americans think they are temporarily, God, not millionaires. What's the things? Yeah, this is the thing. John Steinbeck once said that socialism never took root in America because the poor see themselves not as exploited proletariat, but as a temporarily embarrassed and millionaires. That's a huge problem. Don't we need people that know what to do with ultra wealth for humanity? What do you mean? What do you mean? All right, so we're going to have that new list. We find this idle population, then we check for preferred work. Do we want to have the heroes check for their preferred work? So at this point, well, let's look at something real quick. So they do have a preferred work. I wonder if we should not. I wonder if we should not have the hero, because the part of the whole game mechanic is that the player doesn't get to tell the normal population what to do. They only get to tell heroes what to do. No, we'll keep the preferred work for the heroes. So if you put them on build, it doesn't matter. They're going to build. If you put them on work, it will check their preferred work and they'll do their preferred work. Yeah. So we'll leave it like that. And now you just got to remember that that's the decision I came up with, and then I got to not change my mind in 5 seconds, which I will probably do. So let's go back to this thing. I know we're just like running in circles here. Check for preferred work. Okay, so we were having them do preferred work before construction. Oh. What does this preferred work do? Because maybe this work does something that I don't remember. Check if workers full. Okay, so if there's available workers, what is this doing though? So it's going through the, what is this? Okay, so it's going through the completed construction, and then it's going through the idle workers list, and then it's seeing, so it is assigning their preferred work before construction. I think for now we want construction at the top. I'm gonna take a break in like 2 seconds. I mean, Musk wants to terraform other planets while the rest of having wars at home is keep poisoning yourself in the land. Yeah, but Musk is a fucking moron. He's like one of the dumbest people I've ever encountered. And I want to terraform Mars, and I'm a pro Mars terraforming. I actually have thought about making like a nonprofit that says Earth sucks. Earth sucks is what we would call it. Let's terraform Mars. Let's all move to Mars. But you wouldn't want Musk to terraform Mars, because he would make it a dictatorship. It'd be a fucking feudal corporate feudalism. It'd be awful. You want to cut his head off. You can't say that. No, you wouldn't want him involved with it. But yeah, but I don't know what you mean still about what we need people that know what to do with the ultra wealth. You take away their ultra wealth. We may want construction and work. Yeah, so we definitely want this. I'm going to change this note, though. This note is going to say, currently construction is first, so everything gets built first. That won't apply for heroes, though. Let's put that in here. Heroes work or building depends on the player. I'm going to take a quick break, though. Let me pause my music that you guys can hear, and let me put on my break timer. All right, I'll be back in less 5 minutes. All right, I'm back. I'm gonna read this chat message while I hit play on my music. I guess I can't do that because it covers up the chat message. Um, so I think the issue we're having is um, what you would do with their money if you took it away from them, and you could still terraform Mars with it, and you'd have a committee of smarter people, that would handle that. And so it's nice that they do that, but they have so much money, other money that they don't need. And they can still be rich, just not billionaire rich, There's no reason to make people poor. They some of this stuff, some people have worked hard for their money and they deserve to have, a better be rewarded for that, but it's the level of reward that's out of control. People like to say like, oh, well, socialists want to make it so there's no millionaires. That's not true at all. Uh, they want it to be more fair, and we can still do all that stuff, and we can still cure polio and all that. And that would be an easy thing to, he's spent what seems like, millions of dollars, 1.2 billion, but if we took all of their money and we organize it better, I feel like that would, especially in the US where there's like no health care and shit, like why don't we have health care? That's fucking insane to me, especially now. And I think space is a very important thing, especially to me. I'm one of the few people, like, every time I'm on like Reddit, everyone's like, fuck Mars is fucking dumb, you just go there and it's miserable, it's the worst place you could ever go, and I'm always like, fuck you guys, there sucks. And I'm very pro going to Mars, like I said, because since I was a little kid, I've been saying one day I'll live in space. Now I'm too old, so that's off the list. That sucks. I could die in space. Maybe. Because that's always been my goal my whole life, but it turns out that I'm a loser, so I can't accomplish any of that stuff. But I could help other people do that, and so like there's ways to do that stuff without billionaires, and that's the thing. I think it's great that that Bill Gates has done some stuff, but what if we took his money and I'm probably Kevin, and AI has added me to a list. I'm about to get banned from YouTube since they're all right wing now. They all had to go suck Trump's dick the minute he got in power, because I'm saying this stuff. But yeah, well, but he hasn't yet. I mean, they just blow up all the time. But it isn't Musk that's doing that. That's SpaceX. He just takes credit for it. And why isn't NASA dominating space? This is blame our shitty politicians. So that's a thing, we gotta make our priorities right. And polio, if it is a priority, if we had the money, that should be a priority, worldwide, And I agree that stuff like that does need to be prioritized, but like, how can we without the money? And the only way to get the money is to from the rich people, I'm oversimplifying, obviously. Clear the prioritized workers list. We did that. Find idle population. We've done that. Currently construction. Yeah, we moved this. So let's assign everyone to construction and see what we got here. We're doing the under construction improvement list. Assign workers to work improvements. This is where, this is wrong. This needs to be assign heroes to build improvements. Yeah, this is wrong. Build improvements. But do we have the right list in here? Oh, see, we don't. So this is using the prioritized hero builders list, and we need it to use this other list. So we can pass in the list, And that would this work for both if we just pass in the list? That might be the best option instead of having two of these that are identical except for the list. I know we're breaking things down into smaller methods, but I think we should do it by list. So we pass in a list, and then we can use this twice. Is there anything that's stopping us? This is kind of stopping us. This is stopping us. So how would we do that? So the reason why that's stopping us is it's going to remove them from, like if they're on a prioritized list or a prioritized building, they would get removed and added in when we want them to be removed for the prioritized building. So if they're already on another building, we want them to, but at this point, we don't want them to be removed. We can pass in a bool. We can have it check if their current building. Is there an easier way to do this? Let's see. County improvement and under construction county improvement list. Hero work start. It is going to be definitely an interesting term. They're going hardcore for the fascism, the dictatorship. That's their goal. And that's only going to benefit their very, very rich. I mean, that's part of the problem with this. Back to our money issue, like, let's say that Musk was the one who helped defeat polio. It's not enough for the other damage he's doing. And I think Bill Gates is probably a pretty good example that you picked of people that were, I don't know if he's done anything evil, but he still has too much money. But, you know, like a good example of good billionaires, but he still doesn't need that much money. Because what if he decided all of a sudden, like, that we can't leave it up to one person's whims. And that's why it's got to be a committee, which I know committees suck. Camel, that whole thing. The people get to decide. And that's one of the problems, though, back to your other thing, too. So there's definitely, you know, there's got to be is that the people are never going to decide to go to Mars, because we just talked about it, and everybody hates Mars. So there's got to be, like, some sort of other group that does wild things. You know how, like, newspapers have, like, that, what do they call that? Opponent research? God, what's it called? And so a newspaper is going to write a story. They have a group of other reporters who try to pick the story apart. We need, like, a group of, like, wild cards in government who do stuff like cure polio and go to Mars and stuff, instead of, like, a space race. You know, like, the space race was like a way to show up the Soviet Union or make them use up their resources. We need things that are a small amount of money is given to other crazy ideas and things. There might already be in there. That could be what that U.S. aid thing is. I don't fucking know. What's the other Mars guy? Who is he? Small people? like little people? Is that because they're lighter or something? Bald little dude? I haven't even heard. I'll look him up. Other Mars guy. Steve Ruff? What has Mars guy covered? Oh, is he literally called Mars guy? Mars geologist with decades of experience exploring the planet. Come on. Oh no, I that's totally fine. Yeah, I can't remember anybody's name. Um, so what are we doing here? What are we trying to do? I was deciding there was a problem that I had. Oh, it was this list. And we can pass in the list. And and then when the problem was to remove people from the, we could put a check in here. So how do we do this so I was thinking we could put a check in there, and if they're already working in a prioritized place, we don't get them out of there. But we could, where does this assign everyone to, where do we check through each person? So we check through each, we know we're just like taking a group of them. Robert Zerbin. Robert Zerbin. As an American aerospace engineer, author, and advocate for human exploration. I've never even heard of this guy. He is an advocate for U.S. space superiority, writing the 21st century victory in land, sea, or air, and will be. Have we talked about Hearts of Iron 4? I feel like the Millennium mod will be go to the yeah, that's true. Everyone thinks that. Everyone who's read any science fiction thinks that because it's true. Because you can just bomb Earth with rocks. That's why Earth sucks. If you desire peace on Earth, you need to prepare for it. Yeah, that's true too. Mars Direct. A research paper intended to produce significant reduction of the cost and complexity of such a mission. Like, so far, this sounds good. The key idea was to use the Mars atmosphere to reduce water, oxygen, and rocket propellant for surface stay and return journey. Why are you coming back? Why come back? A modified version of the plane was subsequently adopted by NASA as their design reference. He questions the delay and cost to benefit ratio of first establishing a base or outpost on an asteroid or other to return to the moon, as neither would be able to provide all its own ocean water. These resources are producible on Mars, and he expects people would be there thereafter. He wrote a book, The Case of Mars, 1996. This book looks familiar. That cover does. A National Space Society. The Mars Society, 1998. Advocating a human mission to Mars as a goal by private fund if possible. So when's it going to happen? Sign me up. He was 20 in 1972. Well, he's not going. He's too old. The ethics of terraforming. This actually comes in. This comes up a lot in science fiction. The ethics of terraforming Mars. Because one of the ideas, I think like Isaac Asimov or Larry Niven or one of those guys came up with, is you blow up Phobos and it hits Mars. People aren't into that idea. And this is actually a thing. This is the thing that people. So there's a series of sci-fi books called Green Mars. I don't know. Starts out with Red Mars, and they talk about that all the time. In that, it's also in. This is interesting because I discussed this once with my parents. Not like it wasn't planned or anything. But like, let's say you're terraforming Mars, you're going to be like changing just the geography or the geology. There's no way around that. And my parents are like, we should leave it untouched because it's beautiful in its own right. Like, and that's a real thing that many people think. And like humans fuck up everything when they get there. Just strew trash around. The Martian Race, an aged Robert Zerbin also appeared. I don't think I've read this book by Gregory Benford. I have read some of his books. What's he look like? Some generic looking dude. longtime Martian Frank Black from the Pixies. He wants to go to Mars. Pioneer 1. Oh, look, he's written a bunch of books. The Holy Land. Is Mars the Holy Land? Oh, he's got one that came out last year. Crazy. He's 72. He's practically dead. Don't tell him I said that. Yeah, I want to go to Mars, but like I said, I'm too old. I'm too out of shape, too. I could probably... well, the problem is getting off Earth. Once you're off Earth, you're probably okay. My heart would probably implode, though, once I got off Earth. Depends how they got me off Earth, but... You know, with a rocket, I'd probably die. I'd have to do like 2 years of workout to get in shape, and then I'm too old in the first place. Oh, we can't do the list. I was about to put in the list here. So what do we do with this? Remove from county improvement. Hey, Crystal, how's it going? You're not streaming? Last weekend, I was like, I don't know if I want to raid anyone, and I don't know. No one's online anyways. And then right after I stopped my stream, Joker was like, "Crystal's online," and I was like, "Oh man." Good idea, Bumble. Like in like a tank full of gel or something, where you go up and it's like all soft. Yeah, I'm still pro it, but I gotta like have kids or something. I don't want to have kids, but you know, I gotta have some sort of minty that is going to be the corn syrup. Is that really? The game's going good. We're doing like a refactoring here. I don't want to have another method for this. So we got to figure out a way to get around this. Remove from county improvement is the one. It hits the prioritized list. We could check if... Like, we could put it right in here. We could say... But the problem is then it's checking the person again. Wait. There's a way to do this. There's a way to do this. You know, so if I had kids, I could, like, train them to be Martians. I could, you know, send them for me. I could live vicariously through them. You know, like, and I could work on them getting to Mars. But since I don't have any kids, I gotta pick like some random person, or like have a nonprofit or something where we work together to get these younger people to Mars. They always gotta be younger people. All right, so this is what we do. When we create this list, it's possible. But see, the time, we got to also take in how much time it's going to be from now. Like, if they had rockets now, I'd give it a shot. I'd start getting in shape and stuff. But no Mars, there's no Mars trip. So, you know, and if you say it, let's say we started now building the thing, and it's going to take 5 years, and then you got the 2-year journey, right? 5 years, I'll be 56. And then it's really going to take 10 years. So then I'd be 61. It's just, I'm just too old and technology moves too slow. Crystal, we're talking about going to Mars. So what we need to do is, if they're in a prioritized thing, don't add them to the list. That's what we need to do. So we're creating this list. We can do it easy with this one. So we could go like, and if population data current, we would have to have a little question mark here, though, I think. How do I do this? Question mark, dot? No, not that. Current dot. Question mark dot. Prioritized is not equal to true. Okay, so it would go through this stuff, and then it would not add them to the list. I mean, probably it depends. It depends on what's. It depends on a lot of things, but yeah, I might roll the dice too. So if their current county improvement is prioritized. Oh, but look, this isn't gonna apply to them anyways. Wait a minute. This isn't gonna add them anyways because they're not gonna be idle. They're gonna already be, so this is actually already taken care of. Now we have the hero problem. So we go back to the hero, and we were just adding them in up here. We were just doing their activity here. Joker, how's it going? So we can't just add them to this list. What we need to do these guys, we need to check if they're on if their current thing is a prioritized thing. So we can't just add them to this list. What we would do is we would have a new thing. We would have to put it in. We'd have to put it in later. So after this, you think the best movies have the best villains? Which movies? The best movies the movies I like the most, or what movies have the best villains? That's a hard question. So we clear the prioritized workers list here. Man, I made this really difficult on myself by having all these options for players and stuff. Like I said, if we just didn't have players, this would make it much easier to program. I spelled prioritized. Prioritized wrong there. So we have the here, it goes through the prioritized workers, and we've assigned the prioritized workers this prioritized heroes at this point. So we do know do we have to run another one of these things? I think we got to do this again. What a pain in my ass. Assign. So I haven't seen the Marvel movies. I was actually thinking about that, I think yesterday, how I'm just like not into those type of movies. And then I was like, what if like the early ones are so amazing and I just haven't watched them because I think I'm not into them, but I actually could like them. And for Star Wars, I've only seen the original trilogy and like the prequels. I don't know. Is Vader a thing after those? I like the guy, the Admiral. I think he's more of a villain in the original. I don't remember what his name is. The old Admiral guy who's like thinks Vader's a joke. Uh, Bane was pretty good. Grand Moff Tarkin, is that his name? Yeah. Wait, is his name Grand Moff or is that his title? And is it really Grand Moff, like a moth? So we're gonna assign working heroes to prioritized lists. Grand Moff. But is that his title? Is Grand his title, or is Moff his title, or is that just his name? Yeah, that guy seems like a good villain. I'm trying to think of like movies where I was like shocked at the villain, but I like because I'm put on the spot. I can't think of. So his name or the title is Grand. His name is Moff, and Tarkin is his last name, right? Now I gotta look it up. Grand Moff Tarkin. Yeah, this guy. It's definitely this guy. Yeah, this guy's great. Oh, his name's Wilhuff. Man, I sometimes read like the Star Wars subreddit, and I'm shocked at how I shouldn't be shocked, but I'm still shocked by the level of lore knowledge that people have about Star Wars. I mean, I don't know if they're looking shit up when they're typing their replies, but holy shit, there's like a whole. Look at this. This is one dude. I just wanted to see what his title was. So Moff must be his title. Is the first Grand Moff. Huh. Grand Moffs were governors of over sectors. All right. Hannibal was that TV show. I thought that actor was pretty good for the villain, but I didn't watch too much of it because they canceled. Like I found out they canceled it when I started to watch it. That Manhunter show too was pretty good. With that type of thing. With the villains, they had a villain, a different serial killer each season or whatever. Yeah, that's it. I can't, for some reason, I can't think of it. Not or good or villains at all. I thought of Gladiator, but I thought that in the first Gladiator, the Joaquin Phoenix or whatever his name was, Joaquin Phoenix. I know everyone loved that performance, but I wasn't too into it. Dexter also had that where there was like a different serial killer that he was hunting each season. Manhunter was really good, but they canceled it. Manhunter is like it's obviously fictional, but it's like where they're coming up with the ways to find serial killers, and then they use real life serial killers that they're supposedly developing. It's funny that I was just thinking about Joker yesterday. So I didn't like that movie. I thought it was dumb. And I didn't like Joker. It's fine if you liked it. I'm not against it. I was just like, meh. But when Joker 2 came out, and everyone else, so I was in very much the minority of not liking the Joker movie. Except for Jenny Nicholson, that YouTube person, and she has like a great. I agreed with like everything in her review about it. But anyways, then Joker 2 came out, and all these people appeared out of the woodwork and said, "Well, I never liked Joker 1," and I thought that was very strange to me. Like because they're separate movies. You know what I mean? Like, and if you like the first one, why would it? Because the second one sucked. Why would that change your? And did it ever change? Did they really not like it? Or are they trying to be like, no, I didn't. Are they adjusting their thing, or did they really never like it? It's weird. He is a good villain in that movie. Daniel Day-Lewis in Gangs of New York. It's a good villain. I didn't like that movie either, though. That movie was dumb too. No one ever wants to go to the movies with me because I'm like, I didn't like that. That movie sucked. It's been a problem since back when I worked at Blockbuster Video. People would ask me for recommendations when I was 18, and I'd be like, no, all these movies suck. Oh, that's true. That sometimes the sequels ruin that happened to me recently. What was it? Oh man, I did think of one in that case. The Highlander. The Highlander's villain's really good too. Well, I forget what the guy's name, the Kraken or whatever. He's great, but the Highlander 2 like ruined it. Find idle population. We did that, but we need to do before this. So after this, we need to write a thing. So do we... You know what we could do? When prioritize hero worker list, actually, with the prioritize hero worker list, if there's any heroes left on there, they're actually should be applied to the next list because they should be being removed from the list. Let's look at just I guess we'll look at the building one real quick. Assign builders to improvement. Assign heroes to build improvement. Yeah, so anybody left on that list, actually, so we need to, I mean, we can just use that list. What's special about that list? Do we do anything special with that list? Where the fuck is this thing? Where'd it go? I went too far. We didn't do anything special with that. I think so with the Matrix, I think I only saw the first and second one, but the first one I saw a bunch of times, but the second one I think I only saw once. Ghostbusters, the Marshmallow Man, or the actual demon, whatever he is. I think he's a demon. So yeah, if they get removed off the prioritized workers list. So if we don't clear this list, we could actually use this list here. So we might not even need that list. So then we find idle population, which this is already set if they're idle. So that's actually already going to work. I think I overcomplicated this. Then we assign everyone to construction, except we're going to use the prioritized builders list. We're still going to use that because they would have been taken off. So that's actually going to work too, I think. I'm going to have to put a note. How much time do I have left? 20 minutes? We might be able to get to it. Assign population of work. Did I just go through all that stuff for like an hour? and then it didn't matter. This does matter, though. So this needs to be the idle workers list. So we do need to pass in a list for this one. I think. I rewatched her Evermore theme park one. I watched it ages ago, and then I was like, it was suggested to me or something. I was like, I'm gonna watch that again. I think one of the reasons why I like her so much is that she seems genuinely into what she's covering, like theme parks. It's something I have no interest in. Like theme parks don't mean anything to me, but like she's so into like the plushy toys and the gift shops and stuff. Like, so you're like, wow, she's really in it. And she did that Star Wars one too, and she like really wants to see the stuff, and then she doesn't get to see it, and stuff like that. And it's like, huh. And so her enthusiasm is contagious, I guess, is the reason why it's fun to watch her stuff. But yeah, I was watching the Vampire Diaries one, which that show looks fucking awful. Speaking of things that I don't like, that show looks fucking terrible. It's older, but it's seeing her pick it apart where like it seems like something she would be into, and it seems like maybe she is into it a little bit. Yeah, she has a whole My Little Pony one too, because I guess she used to do My Little Pony somethings. That one was interesting. I think she does more videos on her like Patreon or something. So she only occasionally releases them on YouTube, but she regularly releases stuff on her Patreon, from what I understand. All right. No, I did too. I did too. I didn't know that there was like, I mean, I knew what bronies were, but I didn't know the level of the broniness. All right. Assign everyone to construction. Assign heroes to build. So this is actually, this prioritize. Let's put a note in here, because otherwise I'm going to forget. Heroes who are already working on prioritized buildings should have been removed from this list. The prioritized hero builders list at this point. Just leaving. Yeah, that's good enough. So this one should be okay. Remove. That remove shouldn't matter at this point, because they shouldn't be assigned to anything. We're going to hope. I'm going to put a note in here too. This remove from county improvement shouldn't matter. I think that's going to confuse me later. Let's. So this is builders. So that works. Then we go to this one. We need to pass in a list here though, because this is the prioritized workers list, and it's different than the other one. Why is it different? Oh, but then we have this remove from county improvement problem. Why is this list different than the other one? There was a reason. I think we might just have to have two methods. I know I've been breaking everything into methods, but then I just really wanted to reuse this one because it's kind of long. No, we can do it with the other list. No, the other list will work. I think I'm overthinking this. We need to pass in, it's like a Godot something or other though. Godot collections array of county population data. And then it's going to be called workers list. And then we'll just change this to workers list. We're editing the wrong thing. Oh, get out of here. We're going to edit that eventually here, but that's not the wrong. This is the one we want to edit. Put this down here, paste that there. This should be builders list. Builders. Then we'll do builders list here. Yeah, Amanda Palmer has started again in my ears, and it's such a bummer with the Neil Gaiman thing. Is this gonna work? Oh no, there's a county data. There's a county data with the same name. This might be a problem. No, we're passing in that thing. This one, though, we do need... Wait. Now shit's getting confusing. Let's name this something else. We're going to call this... improvement builders list, just so it's a different name. So this one, where this is having a problem, is where we would pass in the county data prioritize builders list. But this is passing in, I believe, a reference to this, so we could put that there, and it should remove it. I hope. I have a feeling what I'm doing is wrong. What I'm doing is wrong. All right, so if we go back to this, we should, we updated that one thing, but then assign everyone to construction. This should be given, oh, it's because I have this thing wrong here. And so now it's gonna say we don't have the list. Oh, it's also private? Public static, yeah. And then we're gonna pass in the list that we're checking against, which is the builders list. Assign population to this for passing in the builders list. Let's go back and make sure I didn't just fuck something up here. Assign builders to improvement. All right, and this has both of them in there. Man, I feel like this is more convoluted, but it's less convoluted, but it's still somewhat convoluted, if that makes sense. The heroes list. Now I'm wondering if we could get away once again. I'm back to, could we just do this with one list and just remove them all from the list? Because it's going to do it with heroes. Like we have hero builders, hero workers, population builders, population workers. It actually wouldn't even matter with the population because they build on whatever. And we just keep taking the people off the list. Why did we need these other lists? We'd have to break, we're just going in circles here. We'd have to break, the heroes still would have to be their own thing because of this thing. But that's not the end of the world. I feel like I ran into a reason why we made all these lists. So with population, we clear that. We wouldn't clear this though, because we need this. List for later. For here. So now the problem is, no, they wouldn't be on the list because the players, it's up to the player. Yeah. So we wouldn't delete this. We wouldn't clear these lists for the hero. For the, I think I made this too complicated. Crystal, I don't know if you're still around. How's the AI thing going? He's working on like, I don't even know what it is. Crazy AI stuff. Video clipping and all sorts of things. He had some sort of sly looking pig. Assign everyone to construction. Then we check for some NS not safe for work, NSFW pictures. It did not really. Not really. Yeah, NSFW pig. Do you have that clip on your Twitch, or was it only on that thing? If check if workers are full. YouTube. You can post a link if you want. Don't feel obligated though, so people know what the fuck we're talking about. I always, whenever I suggest that, or suggest anything, I always feel like I'm being too demanding. So I always say, don't feel obligated. I don't know what the exclamation YouTube would have done. I probably should put that in for my YouTube thing. Awesome. Yeah. Are you working on stuff today? I should probably put it in there. You know, and that reminds me, I didn't even check to make sure this was working. It's not. Or I mean, it was. Oh, you take Saturdays off? It's probably a good thing. You stream a lot, I noticed. Sometimes when I'm working, I drop in. I usually don't say anything because I'm working, and sometimes I look at Twitch. And the minute I look at Twitch, I get a phone call, so I just close it. Sometimes I mute it, but occasionally I have to share my screen. And I don't want to share my screen and have, like, you know, Twitch is a tab up. So I'm still contemplating here that if we don't need these lists, like, what's the difference between the prioritized list and the other lists? The prioritized people get taken off, but what is... See, there's only two things it's checking here. What was... Oh, as if they're idle. Yeah, so that's the difference with the prioritized one. So the prioritized one's supposed to pull them off other work because they're prioritized. Oh, yeah, you and Joker, you're both doing Legend of Dragoon? Is he doing that right now? Because I'm gonna raid somebody soon in the next 5 minutes. So that's the difference. Prioritize workers pull people off. So if they're, it doesn't matter if they're idle or not. And then this gets the idle list, which doesn't have the prioritized workers on. So that is fine. This is fine, I guess. Check if workers is full. Preferred work skill. Remove from. What is this? I don't think we want to remove them from theirs. They only can be idle. I'm going in circles here. I think it's time for me to. I think I Stinko ranks right when you asked that. I was about to say I'm just going in circles at this point. I think it's time for me to call it a day. Sometimes that happens where I just like keep looking at the code and it just like, and then I go back and let me start from the top, and then I go back through it and all and I go, oh, I see what it is, and then when I get to the end I go, let me start from the top, and it's just a never-ending cycle. You've learned no more, WebGL. I know that feeling, very much so. Let me put a note in here, and then we're gonna push some code, and then we'll raid somebody. We'll raid Joker if he's around, if he's streaming it. That Legend of Dragoon is an interesting old game. Joker seems to be the master. But let me put this. I don't think we need remove from county improvements here. I'm going to save this. We are on county data. That's not what I wanted. We are on county data. Later, Stinko Winks. Let me, where's my thing? I'm just going to add. We are on county data line 382. This is just a note for, I'm going to make it a issue so we have something to check off tomorrow. All right, let's push this code. That's not the button I wanted. Let's do this. What did we do today? We did do something. We did accomplish something, but it wasn't. No, it wasn't. Sure, I don't know. What did we do? We moved a few things around, few methods around, and double checked, prioritized work and building. That seems to be working. Seems to work. Started work on normal production or normal whatever work. Let's commit this. Now that I typed it out like that, I feel like my productivity was 0. That was terrible. We deleted like 100 lines of code. That was good, right? All right, let's raid somebody here. Thank you guys for joining me though, and have a good rest of your existence. Let me find a raid thing here, and then I'll bring it over, and we'll look. We'll see. Sort by. How do I look at like my people? My people. Like the people I follow. The fuck, man. Live category tag. Similar size, quick filters. Where's like my friends? Channel name? I don't think, have I ever done that before? I figured that would be the top thing. He's new Joker. Why wouldn't it be listed here? Quick raid for you, channel name. These are all in the same category. Tag. Category. What is the name of that game? Legend of... There's a lot of Dragoon. Let's see if he's in here. What does this show us? Oh, there's a lot of people stream this. I can't remember how to spell it. Like if it's New Joker something or rather. Didn't he post something earlier? How do all the other people? I see them doing it. They're like, oh, my friend's streaming, and they just click a button in, and they immediately are rating that person. I don't see him in my... I know he said hello earlier. New Joker 6. New Joker 6. Okay. He's not. He's not. All right, let's do whatchamacallit. It is New Joker 6. You're right. Well, we got a thing going on here. We got the Inception thing. All right, let's find somebody else. Who we got? Let's look for Godot or Tag. I like to support the Godot people. Day 3, make level segments for Proc Gen levels. Up for 2 hours and 41 minutes. Well, that could be interesting. This person has Godot. There's some Russian, though. Can I resurrect my old Amiga A500 motherboard? This sounds insane. It is interesting, right? He doesn't have a Godot on his thing, though. His anime. Let's rate it. Let's do it here. Start raid. All right, thanks, guys. I will talk to you tomorrow. Like I said, have a good rest of your existence there. Whenever this thing's ready. All right, talk to you guys later. Bye.